Hello my friends. Today we are going to talk about the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, where 3 children had visions of the Virgin Mary. These apparitions gave rise to one of the most fascinating stories of the Catholic Church. Get ready to dive into this incredible spiritual journey. Our Lady of Fatima. The apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima. In 1917, in the small village of Fatima, Portugal, 3 shepherd children had a series of apparitions of the Virgin Mary. This heavenly vision would give rise to one of the most significant events in the history of the Catholic Church, the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima. In the hills of Fatima, the Virgin conveyed messages of peace, prayer, and conversion, which would spread throughout the world, inspiring millions of believers and influencing historical events. Follow now the detailed account of this extraordinary journey, where the divine and the human meet in a plot of mystery, miracle, and transformation. On that day of May 13, 1917, 3 shepherd children, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, played carefreely in a field near their village of Aljustrel, in Fatima, Portugal. Little did they know that that moment would change the course of their lives and eventually influence the history of the world. As they explored the bucolic landscape, a dazzling light appeared in the sky, and before their awestruck eyes, a beautiful lady dressed in white appeared. This celestial vision would become known as the apparition of Our Lady of Fatima. The lady in white introduced herself to the children as the Virgin Mary and conveyed to them a message of peace and hope. She asked them to pray the rosary daily and to return to the same place on the 13th of each month, as she had something important to tell them. The children, initially frightened, soon calmed down by the sweetness and kindness of the Virgin. They accepted the request and promised to return the next month. When the vision disappeared, the 3 shepherds ran to tell their parents what had happened, who at first did not believe their words. In the following months, the apparitions of the Virgin Mary repeated as promised. In each one, the Lady of Fatima revealed new mysteries and secrets to the children. She spoke about the need to pray for the end of World War I, for the conversion of Russia, and for the salvation of souls. The visions were accompanied by supernatural phenomena, such as the dancing of the sun, which left the spectators astonished. Gradually, the news of the apparition spread throughout the region, and crowds began to gather at the site, hoping to witness the miracle. As the apparitions continued, the Virgin Mary revealed to the children 3 secrets or secrets of Fatima. The first of them spoke of a vision of hell and the need to pray for the end of the war and the conversion of sinners. The second secret foreshadowed the beginning of World War II and the need to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The third secret, kept secret for decades, would only be revealed years later by the Vatican. These extraordinary revelations elevated the status of the Fatima apparitions, attracting the attention of the Catholic world and arousing the curiosity of many. As the fame of the apparitions spread, civil and religious authorities began to get involved in the case. The local bishop, D. José Alves Correa de Silva, initially skeptical, began to investigate the events cautiously. He interviewed the children, examined their reports, and sought to understand the nature of the visions. Despite initial doubts, the bishop eventually recognized the authenticity of the apparitions, declaring them worthy of credit and encouraging the faithful to believe in the children's testimony. The news of the Fatima apparitions soon reached the ears of the Portuguese government, which at the time was led by an anti-clerical regime hostile to the Catholic Church. The authorities viewed with suspicion the growing religious fervor surrounding the phenomenon and feared that it could threaten their secularist agenda. Thus, they began a campaign of persecution and repression against the visionary children and their followers, even going so far as to arrest and interrogate Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta on several occasions. Despite the adversities imposed by the authorities, the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima continued to attract crowds of believers. Every 13th of the month, thousands of pilgrims gathered at the site of the visions, praying, singing, and eagerly awaiting the arrival of the Virgin. The children, in turn, reported in detail the messages and secrets entrusted to them during the apparitions. This popular devotion and the persistence of the visions eventually shook the government's position, which gradually retreated from its campaign of repression. On October 13, 1917, the culmination of the apparitions occurred with the so-called miracle of the sun. On that day, an estimated crowd of 70,000 people gathered at the site, awaiting the arrival of the Virgin. Suddenly, the sun began to dance in the sky, emitting multicolored beams of light that projected onto the earth and the crowd. This extraordinary phenomenon, witnessed by thousands of spectators, was interpreted as a divine sign, reinforcing belief in the Fatima apparitions. The miracle of the sun was widely publicized by the press of the time, elevating the status of the visions to an event of global importance. Can I continue to the next part? After the miracle of the sun, the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima gained even more prominence and recognition, both religiously and politically. The local bishop, D. José Alves Correa de Silva, finally declared the visions authentic and credible, encouraging the faithful to believe in the children's testimony. This ecclesiastical approval was an important milestone, legitimizing the apparitions and attracting even more devotees to the small village of Fatima. Meanwhile, the revelations of the secrets of Fatima also aroused great interest and speculation in the Catholic world. The first and second secrets, related to World War I and the conversion of Russia, were readily accepted and interpreted as divine prophecies. The third secret, kept secret for decades, fueled numerous theories and conjectures, becoming the subject of intense debate and speculation. Its eventual revelation, years later, only reinforced the importance and impact of the Fatima apparitions on the history of the Catholic Church. The visionary children, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, became central figures in the cult of Our Lady of Fatima. Their lives, marked by the apparitions and the difficulties imposed by the authorities, were the subject of great devotion and admiration by the faithful. Jacinta and Francisco, who died prematurely, were later beatified by the Catholic Church, recognized as saints. Lucia, the only survivor, entered religious life and dedicated herself to spreading the message of Fatima throughout the world. Devotion to Our Lady of Fatima spread rapidly, not only in Portugal but throughout the Catholic world. Shrines and basilicas were built at the site of the apparitions, attracting millions of pilgrims annually. The image of the Virgin Mary, dressed in white and holding a rosary, became an internationally recognized icon, symbolizing the message of peace, prayer, and conversion that she conveyed to the children. The Fatima apparitions had a lasting impact on the history of the Catholic Church and the lives of millions of believers. Its message of repentance, prayer, and consecration to the Virgin Mary inspired movements of spiritual renewal and Marian devotion throughout the world. Moreover, the prophecies related to World War I, the conversion of Russia, and the secrets of Fatima, were interpreted as divine signs, reinforcing the belief that the Virgin Mary was intervening directly in human affairs. Throughout the 20th century, the Fatima apparitions continued to exert a significant influence, especially during moments of crisis and global turmoil. The consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, requested by the Virgin, was carried out by Pope John Paul II in 1984, shortly before the fall of the Soviet regime. This event was seen by many as the fulfillment of the Fatima prophecy and proof of divine intervention in history. Furthermore, devotion to Our Lady of Fatima was further strengthened by the beatification and canonization of the visionary children. Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta became models of faith and devotion, inspiring millions of believers worldwide. Their lives, marked by sacrifice, obedience, and love for God, were elevated as examples to be followed by the Catholic Church. The Fatima apparitions also had a significant impact on international politics. During the Cold War, the message of Fatima, with its emphasis on the conversion of Russia, was interpreted by many as a prophecy against communism and atheism. This view strengthened the belief that the Virgin Mary was intervening directly in world affairs, guiding history toward a favorable outcome for the interests of the Catholic Church. Over the years, the Fatima apparitions continued to inspire pilgrimages, devotions, and even miracles attributed to the intercession of the Virgin Mary. Reports of healings, conversions, and other supernatural phenomena fueled the faith of the faithful, reinforcing belief in the authenticity of the visions. This aura of miracle and supernatural around Fatima contributed to its rise as one of the main Marian sanctuaries in the Catholic world. Despite decades of investigation and analysis, the secrets of Fatima still remain the subject of intense debate and speculation. The third secret, in particular, was kept secret for a long time, fueling theories and conjectures about its content. Its eventual revelation, decades later, only reinforced the importance and mystery surrounding the Fatima apparitions, cementing its place as one of the most significant events in the history of the Catholic Church. Today, Fatima continues to attract millions of pilgrims from all over the world, who seek to find in the message of the Virgin Mary a source of hope, comfort, and spiritual guidance. Devotion to Our Lady of Fatima was further strengthened by the canonization of Jacinta and Francisco, elevated to sainthood by the Catholic Church. This consecration of the visionary children reaffirms the importance and authenticity of the apparitions, cementing their legacy as one of the most notable events in religious history of the 20th century. In conclusion, the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima represent one of the most significant and enduring phenomena in the history of the Catholic Church. Its message of peace, prayer, and conversion, transmitted to the three shepherd children, resonated throughout the world, inspiring millions of believers and influencing historically significant events. The revelations and miracles associated with Fatima continue to fascinate and nourish the faith of countless devotees, consolidating its status as one of the most venerated Marian sanctuaries in Catholicism. The story of the Fatima apparitions remains, thus, as an indelible landmark in the spiritual journey of humanity. I hope you found comfort and inspiration in this video about Our Lady of Fatima. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more content like this. Share with those you love to spread this message of faith and protection. To the next.